and welcome to today's episode of Financial Planning in the series How to Build a Mutual Fund Portfolio. In our last episode, we saw what are debt mutual funds, and we continue exploring debt mutual funds in today's episode as well. Today, I'm going to take you through the categorization of different debt mutual funds. So, when we categorize, then it becomes easy for us to compare the different types of debt mutual funds, and therefore we can choose what is most suitable to us as investors. Let's get into it then. To summarize the last episode, we saw that there is a debt market where we can buy and sell loans. Just like there's an equity market where we can buy and sell shares. The instruments which are available for buying and selling in the debt market are government securities, debentures, corporate bonds, and other money market instruments, which are all different types of lending products. These instruments all have a pre-decided interest rate and a maturity date. So the maturity date is fixed and the interest rate is fixed. And what do debt funds do? Debt mutual funds, they take money from investors and they invest in these instruments. Now let's look at a scenario where we are lending to, say, two friends. Now, to one friend we are lending for a month, and to the other friend we are lending for a year. Which do you think will be less risky? The one we are lending to for 1 month, right? Because we know that in 1 month the chances of his status quo changing is very less. His job is likely to remain stable. His other circumstances likely not to change in such a short period of time. But when we are lending for a year, then we don't know what could change in that person's life, and therefore our lending could be at a bit of a risk. So we apply this similar concept to lending to corporates as well. So just keep this in mind as we go into the next section. Let us look at debt fund categorization. I have split them into 6 categories broadly so that we can easily understand this. There are more categories than this, but to start with, these 6 categories, if we understand, it will suffice. The first category we can look at is called liquid funds. Here, the debt fund invests into instruments which are going to mature or which are going to get over in less than 91 days. Hence, these are very short tenor investments and the risk is very less. It is also typically done into government lending or into AAA rated companies, which is the highest rating for companies. Hence, these are considered least risky within mutual funds. Now, when you see that the instruments which are being invested in have an average maturity of 91 days, does that mean that you as an investor have to stay invested for that period? No. These are open-ended funds, which means that you can enter and exit at any point of time. So you put in your money, the units get allocated, and then you can exit the very next day. 2 things you have to check before you invest. One is that what is the exit load, so you can plan accordingly. Second is whether there is a lock-in period. If neither of these 2 are there, or you've crossed the exit load period, then you can get your money back in 1 to 3 days time as well. The next category we will look at are short-term funds. As the name suggests, the instruments which are being invested into have a maturity of less than 3 years, but over 91 days. Now, again here the risk is lower because the tenor is shorter. However, they are a little more risky than liquid funds and requires some more monitoring. The next category is called medium term funds. Here, the average maturity of the instruments will be more than 3 years. So you can have the maturity going up to 7 years or 10 years as well. So as you can see, because of the longer tenor, the risk is going to be higher because interest rates are going to fluctuate in time, and also the performance of the companies into which these lendings have been done could be affected over the longer term. The next category is dynamic bond funds. Here the fund manager changes the maturity of the portfolio depending upon their forecast on interest rates. So if they feel that the longer term bonds are going to do better, then they can shift their portfolio towards longer term funds. If they feel that short term bonds are going to do well, then they can shift towards this, or they can choose a mix of this. Now, this is ideal for investors who don't know whether they should be investing in a short-term fund or a long-term fund, because they're not sure which way the interest rates are going to go. So this is ideal for such investors. However, they are considered slightly more risky than short-term debt funds. The next category is called fixed maturity plans. Fixed maturity plans they come with a lock-in period, and that's why they're called fixed maturity. But they don't have fixed returns. So please don't get confused between the two and assume that the returns which are indicated will come. They don't have fixed returns. Typically, fixed maturity plans are provided for a period of more than 3 years, and this makes them attractive because the taxation for debt funds is very attractive over a 3-year holding period. However, it is risky because of the longer tenor, and an investor has to take that into consideration. The last category of debt funds I would like to highlight is called gilt funds. Here, minimum 80% of the corpus or the portfolio is invested in government securities. Since this is largely being lent to the government, there is no credit risk. That is, there is no risk of default because the government can always pay back the money. However, there is an interest rate risk because the tenors are long, and we can expect that the interest rate will fluctuate, and at the time of your exit you may find that this is not very viable. So we have to be aware of that. We cannot think that gilt funds are fully safe because we are lending to the government. So I hope it is now clear what debt funds are and how they are categorized. This, as I mentioned, will help us as investors to choose the funds which are most suitable to us. If you have any queries, please do leave a comment or reach out to me at my contact points, and I'll be happy to answer that. As always, stay tuned for the next episode and stay subscribed. Thank you.